Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. I hope you are all well this morning. We finished up yesterday. We glued all this on. This was quite fragile at the time, and we'd run out of time anyway. So now we're up to this stage over here. Turn the ship basically around, start working on this structure. So we're up to section 13 if you're following this along with the internet. So let's get all those parts out. There's section, actually, no, section 13 on page. Why do they have 12 and 13 on the one page? Yeah, that's a little confusing. Anyway, so it looks like section 13, we can probably do this in 3 pieces because there are about 10 different parts. So we'll do, I'm still taking these pieces off. We'll do this section first, then this section, and then it does look like there's something else going on around here either side. Okay, there's all our parts cleaned up. Now we'll put this one this way, just move some of these sprue bits out of the way. So these kind of look like they make 2 halves of one structure, so they'll probably go on something like that. And then the other half, although you could probably glue these offline and then stick them on. Actually, that's a good idea. I might do that myself. It does have 2 locating lugs on it, so quite easy to locate that and glue it. Let's do that now. And while we're also at it, let's just put that top on and glue that down too. Sorry about it being a little blurry. There you go. That's just held in my hand there. So we'll just glue that down. I'm just going to give him a quick little buff, just because of that spot there. Okay, there he is. I'll quickly fit that on. With those pieces all glued together, it did require a little extra force, but it goes on quite nicely. So there it is. So the next section we need E50 just here, E47, 48 to make the next structure behind it. So these sprues are just about empty now, and it looks like we use the 2 main sprues to actually build the ship, and the packet of 5 sprues is all for the ammunition. So there's only a couple of parts left on this now. Well, there's all our next parts all off and cleaned up. And yeah, don't forget to keep buffing these out and cleaning all the sprue pieces off. On that center structure, it probably would have been a little easier to put this one on before this one here, but let's come back to this. So what I did is I just got some glue, and I got some, what is this one here? This is Tamiya cement, because so this one here just gives you a little few more minutes, like it doesn't disappear like the extra thin does. So that just glues that piece. While I'm at it, I'll just touch this one here, take off a lot of that excess. Just want it covered, because it's very awkward to do this actually on the ship. So there's got a little lip on there, you just basically want that. I don't know if you can even see. You just basically want that on there. Hang on to that for a few minutes and then let that go off and we can fit it. Or at the very least, it's now very easy to pick up and place on there, just like that. So there it is now placed on. So that does make it a whole lot easier. What we'll do now, we'll quickly glue that up. And there's the top section for that one. So I'll get that on first. Just waiting for that top section to dry before I muck around with it any further. Can I just say though, the detail in this ship is, for a 1700, is quite phenomenal. I'm actually very happy with this ship. It actually makes me want to go and build the other one. That's how much I like it. When I mean the other one, I mean the 1350 Bismarck I've got here in my stash. Yeah, it's a very nice ship. And if I hadn't known it was going to be this nice, I probably would have brought the floor for this ship, because there's so many different layers of it, and it's all over the place. It actually makes the ship look really good. Although I think I've done a very good job of getting that timber look on this ship anyway. Okay, that piece is now on, and it was quite fiddly to get that top on. It was not a good fit. and I had to use quite a lot of force to get it on. I'm pretty happy with it now though, it is on. That one there, you could probably glue that piece and those all together separately before you put the whole lot on. And if I was to do the ship again, that's exactly how I would do it. Okay, let's move on to the next section. So we need C40, 141 and 140. Now right here, 141 and 140. Let's quickly get those off. Let's just cut them off just roughly and then we'll clean them up. So when I glued this one together, I kind of stuck my hands to it, and as you know, glue and plastic and hands don't go together. And then basically I roughed it all up to get rid of all the glue, and I'll do it even again. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't happy with that look, with it all roughed up. Now if you're in the same position and you end up like this, just get a little bit of glue, take everything off your brush, and just almost like paint it, and you'll get rid of all those little marks just like that. Okay, there's the next piece on that we were just talking about, that one there, it's on, looking pretty good. So in section 13 it tells you how to make this piece and put it on. It doesn't say anything by 2. I do know there's a spot for one on the other side. And the next illustration, it's actually already on the other side. So I would say just go ahead and make the second one and fit it on as well while you're there. It doesn't say that, but it is spotted. So there it is in my hand. I'm going to try and replicate what I did with the last one, because I did kind of mess it up, but then I brought it back. But I went to show you, and I'm not sure if I got it properly on the footage. Okay, so there it is. There's one side glued, and there's the other, which is not glued. So let's glue that very quickly just while you're there. And the plan is to let it wick through there. It's wicked through, and we'll just close him up like that. I didn't mess it up this time, but I will buff it up because I don't like the line in it. So if you end up with these big giant buff marks, which I'm deliberately now putting in, if I can hang on to it. Yeah. So I'll just finish buffing this up, and before I do anything else, I'm going to come back and show you what I did. So there it is, kind of messed up. So with all the scratch marks, if you just paint some glue on there, and it will just get rid of it, just like that. Okay, now I know I got that on camera. Okay, so they're now both on and glued down, so now we can properly move on to section 14, and we need a few more pieces. Looks like 2 lots of C174. So there's those 2 174s on. They're still a little loose. I'm just going to let them go off a few minutes. Pretty happy with the placement of those. I probably should mention how I put them on. So I use the Tamiya cement, because the Tamiya cement buys you time, and you can pretty much put it on the part and just drop it straight on. And then I just use a little bit of extra thin just on the base just to set it off. So I just use the cement, Tamiya cement, just to help me place it. Next we need B129 and E51 on section 14. So there's our 3 pieces that we need, and also we're getting down to the second last floor piece that was painted. And as you know, they were roughly painted, but it's coming up nice on the ship. I mean, it does look good. None of them look out of whack, that's for sure. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom in. So this piece here, because of it's the last piece of that structure, you'll have to try and join this one on here first. Probably much just like I did it. Glue that down, glue the next piece on before you can actually glue the top on. So there's that first section on, and it's glued down, and we'll place this one on as well, just like that. While we're there, we'll put some glue on it, and then we'll sort it out. So there's mine on, and I'm just not quite happy with the join. So I'll just go along and just kind of paint that join out, and it should feather everything out for me. That'll do. Then you can fit that piece on top, which I just have, and I also used some Tamiya cement on that one, again, because it buys me a little bit of time. And that almost touches the flue there as well, so we're still continuing on with this structure going upwards. Okay, that's now section 14 finished. We'll move on to 15. And there's, what is there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. We'll get them out. I'll give you a quick look. So section 15 just here. Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. I had to put a halt to the building yesterday. Had a couple of visitors, and yeah. So we will continue on this morning. After the coffee first. So where we stopped yesterday, I was in the middle of putting this piece together. I know I dabbed some glue on it, but I don't know if I finished it. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly give it a bit more. So now we need the next couple pieces for this, F56, F58. There's the last 3 pieces on the sprue. We need 55 and 56. I'll quickly clean them up. Okay, there's our pieces all cleaned up. So this piece has 2 tabs, one going this side and one going this side. When I mean, like there's one tab there and there's one under here. The only way to get this on is you've got to kind of slip this over, but you get one tab in and the other tab kind of bends over, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that. So I guess we'll just fit it, and yeah, it looks like some sort of flooring or something. So there's that next piece on. It also wasn't one of the best fits. Had to hold a bit of force to hold that in. They're both in there and they're both on. Just, yeah, I don't know, just some of these pieces go together really well, and this is just one of them that didn't. So that was section 15 now done. We need to do section 16 and section 17. Okay, what do we got here? Alright, let's get those pieces. Okay, there's our next pieces ready. I'll just get them cleaned up. So this piece goes on to that one. There's no actual locking point, so you just got to kind of get it right and just wait for it to go off. It's glued on there, just got to wait for it to settle off. This piece goes onto here. It is glued on. I just got to wait for it to kind of settle off for a bit. And yeah, I'll just get it nice and square and even. While we're waiting for that to go off, would you get the parts out for section 17, which is B134 and C135. So there's section 17 with the 2 pieces together. So our first one looks not bad now. Now we just got to fit the next piece on top. It looks like it's the underside. Let's go the other way around. So there's that piece on top. Just make sure it's on there properly. You know, it looks pretty good there. Very good. And there's a little radar on top of it as well. Try and get it even. We'll need to nudge it back. So just do that very quickly. I'll just quickly adjust most of this offline because I think this one needs to be readjusted as well. Maybe just slightly. Put some more glue on that one. So I've got to put the radar face on that one, and just like section 17, just here, what I normally do is just get the Revell. It's a bit thicker, so I'm able just to put a little drop in here, and then I pretty much just drop that in and put this Revell, and it just hangs onto it. Pretty much just like that. It also buys me a little bit of time as well. So there it is on there, and because it's Revell, it will buy me a little bit of time just to straighten it up. Yeah. And there we have it. So now that it's all together, I just put some more glue underneath because it was a little bit loose. So now I'm not fiddling with it. I'll just let it go to let it go right off. I'll give that one about, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 minutes just to sort of set right off. Okay, good half an hour has now passed. I just did some editing, and posted one. Yeah, that's nice and hard now. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, very happy with that. So that's ready to go on. So if you're up to this stage here, you might be wondering, well, how does this one go on? Because I was just wondering the same thing. So basically how it goes on is it kind of slips on over the front. There's a couple of slots in here where it goes on. Okay, I was a little confused myself. So what's happened here is it didn't quite fit. I'm like, why don't you fit? So I've just spent a couple of minutes looking at it. And as you can see on this side here, there's a room with some windows in it. So what's happened is when it's been in the mold, it's left a huge piece on there, which I had just filed down because I thought, well, maybe it needs to be on there. But actual fact, all of this is all extra that's got to come off. Just like that. I'll just quickly clean that up though. So basically that now fits. It just goes on over the top like that. There's a front section that's got to go on here, and I'm probably going to put it on this piece first before I glue it down. So I'll grab that. That is B130. So there's that front section now on. We'll just quickly let that go off and then we'll fit this piece. So now that that piece is now on and it looks like it's gone off, we can now fit that piece just on there, and it's a good looking piece. It's a good fit too. And again, the many layers of floor on this, yeah, this is rather impressive. I mean, we're up, I don't know how many levels now, probably 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7 or 8, and we've still got timber going on up here. This would have been one very nice looking ship. Actually, by the time it's finished, it's 10 stories. So while we're here, we've got to fit this piece. I'll just move that over here from there onto there, and it does have a locking position on it underneath. There it is, just there. So I'll fit that on. So there's that piece now on. Just making sure it's pretty much square. That looks pretty good, that piece. So yeah, it's moving along rather nicely. There we go. So next on section 18, we've got to add, I do believe this is probably the last timber floor up the top here. I can't believe we're this high on the ship and we're still adding more timber up here. So that one's got to go up there like that, and I'll glue that on. So that piece is now on, and that last radar we did from section 17, actually it's section 16, this one can now go on top as well. So I've just fitted that piece, just make sure it's squashed all the way down. Now we did glue this a little while ago, and if it's not quite square, because I used the Tamiya cement, it's still got some movement in it. This is why I like it when I add these big chunky pieces, because I know I can still get some movement out of it. So that is looking rather impressive. I will have to look at it from a couple of different angles to make sure it's square, but very happy with that so far. It looks really good. Just make sure that floor is down. There we go. I think that's the main structure there, all done. There's kind of like 3 structures here. This is the main one. There's the flue structure, and then there's the rear one, which we're almost there. So what do we got here? Yeah, I think we've got plenty for this episode at the moment. So what I think I'll do is I'll call it there. It is looking rather good, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.